Of this. Welcome to Unity of Flagstaff. Yes, we're live streaming, so just be on your best behavior. I won't be, but you need to be. I'm going to make sure that I don't get caught up in the cord here, right? So if I look like I'm going to go, and then I'll know to take a bigger step. So welcome. Thank you for being here. And right out of the gate, I do want to acknowledge the fact that it's Veterans Day. And I just want you to breathe that in for a second. It doesn't matter what your stand, your position, your opinion is in this moment about all that you may have tied to in regards of veterans and service and armed forces. What we know is we have been blessed. And we stand with everyone that is willing to serve in that capacity and all capacities. And so we give great thanks for that. Give great thanks. So thank you. Now that's probably as quiet as I will be, right? I'm gonna step over there. Am I gonna be okay? Let's find out. Look at me, I'm doing it. And of course we're live streaming. So, all right. What we know is the perfect sound system is working right now. What we know is that people hear my voice in absolutely the capacity and the way in which they need to hear it. Can I get an amen? Amen. All right. I'd like to share this little quote, poem from Tagore with you. I slept and dreamt that life was joy. I awoke and saw that life was service. I acted and behold, service was joy. I like that one. Of course, I rarely use one I don't like. So this is week 3 of a 4-week series, as Helen shared with you, on gratitude in, grateful in. So we've talked about being grateful in gratitude. We've talked about seeing the gift in the gift. We've talked about grateful in abundance, recognizing the abundance of who you are and what you bring. And today, we're talking about grateful in service. And you know how I love words. So the definition of service is this: to work for someone. To work for someone. So really, we're all in service. You know, some of us work for our dog. Some of us work for our cat. Some of us work for our kids. Some of us work for each other. Some of us work because we love to work. Not that I would know anything about that. But the trick to that is, do you know that 70% of the people in this country hate the work that they do? They hate their job. They hate the work that they get up every day to do. And I'm not just talking to people that are punching cards, time cards. I'm not talking about just the people that are going to work. They don't like what they do in work. Now, that's a pretty downer way to start a conversation about service is joy. But it is a fact, and you can fact check me on that. It's a fact. And why would that be? What has occurred between the time that I decided this would be the work or the service that I would do, and now I hate every minute of it? What happens? So what I decided was, maybe we just need a different definition of what service is. Because I don't believe that service has to be work. So there's a couple of definitions. I couldn't get my head wrapped around a few of them. But the one was that maintenance that you do on your car or a motor vehicle. Nah, that one didn't work. But this one worked for me. Helping other people. That feels like service to me. And that feels like something I can get my head and my heart wrapped around. Helping other people. Now, I remember the greatest commandment that we were given was to love your neighbor as yourself. And there's a self in there. So when we say helping other people, there's a self in there. You get to be that self that also experiences and benefits from your own help. It's okay to go inside and take care of yourself. I'm going to say that again so that I can hear it. It's okay to go inside and take care of yourself. And you are invited into the next level of that. But this is the caveat. You are invited into the next level of that and being in joy in the process. Service as joy, not as a job, not as work. And if you find yourself in a place of service that you resent, that you don't like, that you are unhappy with, that doesn't bring you 1 ounce of joy, I encourage you to revisit what it is that you're doing. Now, I can hear my board members holding their breath. Penny, we need people to step up. We need people to be in service. I get it. And I'm in total agreement. But we are growing this ministry, and I'm inviting you into this in your life. We're growing it deep. We're growing it authentically. We want our lives to be connected at a level that counts, not just for the sake of doing it, but to be and invite that expression of who you are, so that those thoughts and those words truly represent what you came to be. If it's just filling a slot, folks, we need to revisit that in our lives and in our community. We're not just here to fill slots. We're not slot fillers. We're light bearers. We bring the light. Now we're in service as joy. Now we can be grateful in service, but not a moment before. Now, there will be days, there absolutely will be days that it just ain't fun. You ever have one of those? Mine are so rare that I really don't have a point of reference. There are days that it just isn't fun, but that doesn't mean that there's not joy in it. Joy, J-O-Y, just open yourself. The joy of being in service. And if you have a service job, and if you're doing something that doesn't feel like it's clicking, take a look at it. Ask these questions. 1, who am I doing this for? Who is that? And the second one is, does this service invite me to bring the light that I am invited into being? That's it. Now, we all know nonprofits, ministries run on volunteerism. I used to say it all the time, do the math. We have this many people that come on Sunday, and we have this many tasks to do the math. We have to have volunteers. We have to have people that are in service. In your life, there are places that you just have to show up. So if you are not in a place of joy, and if that service is not coming from a place of joy, you may not have the option of giving that up or not doing that task. But you do have the option of shifting your thinking about it. You do have the option. You can, in fact, awake to the fact that life is service, and service is joy. And if we keep going back to that absolute place of who we are, and we stay clear on that, and as one of my favorite mentors in the world, Reverend Leilani Burt, would say to me, stay prayed up. Because when that work comes in front of you and it doesn't align with your fun factor, you can be prayed up up and grounded in the knowing that I can be in joy in this moment of service. That I can just open yourself to the next expression that God is inviting you into. This is gratitude in service. Now you may say, I just wanted to bring cookies. And that's good. Bring cookies. Bring lots of cookies. Bring hot chocolate to go with them. And bring them from a place of joy. It's not near as important that we have cookies or chips or bean dip or coffee on that table back there. The important conversation is that you were in a place of joy as you were willing to serve those things. Now, it ain't easy. And sometimes we have to serve folks that we're not so fond of. And sometimes we just gotta buck up and be gentle and move to our place of joy, because that's the expression that God is inviting you into. If your service has become work, I want to remind you of Tagore's quote. I slept and dreamt that life was joy. I awoke and saw that life was service. And I acted, and behold, service was joy. You get to choose that. And the world needs your light. It is calling all angels. We have folks that are putting themselves on the front line every day. We have a world that there are children that have never sat down to eat their cornflakes that their country wasn't at war. We have fires that are raging and people evacuating their homes. Man, this is the bummer part of the talk. I just do not want you to think that because we show up in joy, that we do not have a clue or a grasp of what it looks like out there in the world, because we know what it looks like. And last week we talked about, in the blink of God's eye, it can change. We see it, we go within, we open our eyes, we see it again. And behold, life is service. Who do you want to be this week? How about this? Let's make it easier. Who do you want to be today? Who do you want to be? How do you want to show up? Be it in this ministry or be it somewhere else that needs your service. If it's picking up trash on the freeway, if it's feeding people at the food center, if it's being present for someone right here in your own community, do it in joy. And check in, because if you can't do it in joy, think about it. Show up as that greatest expression that God invites you into. And I know I keep saying that in this gratitude series. I keep going back to that. But that's what we're asked to do. That's what we're asked to do. And I'm going to keep saying it. And I'm going to keep inviting you into your joy. And if you see a job that needs to get done and it's not getting done, and it brings you joy to swoop in and do that, do it. And if you have a job or you have a point of service that it's difficult for you to remember why you stepped into that, I invite you into asking, who am I doing this for? And does this invite the light of who I am to be expressed in this world? We are grateful for the service and all the service that's gone before us and all the service that we have yet to do. We are grateful because it is through that authentic service and that aligning with our joy of being and grateful in service that we will transform our lives and we will transform this world. And then Veterans Day will be something that we celebrate as a result of what it used to be required in this world. And we will have new veterans. And they will be keepers of the light. They will be the people that laid that path out because they authentically stood in a place of joy to serve at a greater level. This is who we came